Are you ready to get your shit together? Isn't that what we are all truly trying to do? In this fun, life hack-full show, we will learn together how to navigate this roller coaster called life. We, as glorious messy humans, can sit in the proverbial third car, grumpy and bored, or in the front of the roller coaster having the time of our lives. What do you choose? In this show, you can expect meaningful content and practical takeaway tools to make life easier and exceptionally more joyful. There will be epic guests who already love their lives, allowing them to share their get your shit together tips and words of wisdom. Life is too long and too short to not love your life. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy. Hello and welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy, and I'm your host, Amy Joy. Congratulations on your abundance. I love to start the show with that statement to remind us of how abundant we really are. So take a minute right now just to look around, just to notice how abundant. What are you sitting on right now? Awesome, right? What are you looking at right now? You have a TV or a phone. There are people in the world that don't have those things. You probably have a roof over your head. Yay for that. So congratulations on your abundance. We got to reprogram this and look around and see how abundant that we really are. I am so excited to have Andrew Pearce with us today. He is a stress and performance coach, and stress, as we all know, is a killer. And the more we can learn how to deal with stress and anxiety, the better for our lives. So I'm very excited to pick his brain and to see what he has, the nuggets he has to show and share with us today. So grateful to have him. Stay tuned. There is a new segment to the show, so stay tuned for that. And then we have the meditation moment where we just take a minute just to be present. It's always a life hack-full show. Thank you for taking your time and energy to spend it with us today. Amazing. All right, so right now it is time for Change Your State, Elevate. Awesome. This is the part of the show where we take a minute to raise our frequency. Raising our frequency is one of the most powerful, impactful things that we can do. And we can do it really easy and really fast. And Change Your State, Elevate is a 2-minute segment just for us to do that. So I want you to breathe. Most of us aren't breathing very deep. So I want you to breathe really deep into the bottom of your lungs. Ready? Breathe in. Hold at the top. And visualize all of your cells getting all the oxygen that it needs. Okay, just visualize, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, smiling, smiling, and then exhale. And try to make your exhale longer than your inhale. That's a really cool trick too. All right, breathe in again. Exhale or hold, sorry. And then hold, and then exhale. I let it all hang out. Sometimes I stick my tongue out. That helps too. I'll do it the next time. Look funny. All right. Ready? Breathe in. Hold, and exhale. Just like that. All right. Now think of one thing you're grateful for. Gratitude is the rocket ship to joy. One thing you're grateful for. And one more deep breath in. And if you're on Facebook, I'd love for you to interact and say how you feel now. Those of you on all the other platforms, thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, again, thank you for being here. All right, it is now time to introduce our guest of the week so that we can get our shit together. All right. Andrew Pearce is a professional stress and performance coach showing high achievers how they can master the skill of emotional release in such a way that they are able to rest, regenerate, and refocus without needing to stop doing business, meaning that they can maintain a high level of output, results, and performance. Through his work, Andrew's clients also experience moments of awakening where they connect to clarity, direction, and deeper meaning or purpose in their lives, all of which results in them being happier now and enjoying the quality of their life, which is why Andrew is on Get Your Shit Together, because this is completely in alignment with us. Put your hands together and hearts in the chat for the amazing Andrew Pearce. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you, Amy. How are you?
I'm great. I can hear the birds chirping there in Bali.
Yeah, there is roosters all around me, so there's going to be some roosters throughout the stream.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, it's super great to have you, and thank you for getting up early to be with us today. I am going to give you just a minute or two to connect with the audience, and then we'll start our interview. So go ahead. I'm going to duck out, and you do your thing.
For sure. So I've been coaching for about 9 years now. I first started when I was 25, back in 2014. Very fortunate to have discovered what I wanted to do at a young age. I live in Bali, so I'm originally from Melbourne in Australia. I live in Bali. I've been here since 2018, so 5 to 6 years. And I love my golf. I got into golf during COVID. I love my surfing. I love basketball. That's been my sport my whole life. And yeah, I'm all about living the life that you want to live, having a nice, balanced lifestyle where not everything is about work and you have multiple vehicles and friendships and relationships in your life where your needs are met. So I get a lot out of golf. I get a lot out of my business and my work. I get a lot out of my surfing and my basketball. So there's a nice balance to my life and not a huge dependency on things being one way or another, which I really believe gives freedom. It is a huge contributor to freedom. If I had one vehicle, being my business, for example, through which my needs were met, then I would have a high emotional dependency and reliance on that. So yeah, that's a bit about me. I love travel and adventure. I've traveled a bunch in my life, and I'm keen to do some more. Actually, I'm feeling the itch.
I saw yesterday on Instagram Traveltude. It's when you get a little antsy and a little anxious and a little stressed out because you haven't traveled in a while.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I can totally relate. I have the bug bad. Yes. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yes.
Have you ever counted how many countries you've been to?
Yeah, I've been to 37 countries.
Woohoo! Amazing.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Pardon? I just hit 63.
Nice. That's a solid effort.
I love this planet so much. I love this planet so much that I'm doing this show.
Yes.
so that we can help people. And I read this statistic, and you tell me if you agree based on all of your experience. But according to the American Institute of Stress, 33% of people feel extreme stress. 77% of people feel stress that has some impact on their physical health, and 73% of people have their mental health impacted. Over 48% of people report having sleep problems as a result of stress. This is March 29th. That's my birthday. 2022. So, is this a problem? Stress is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, those statistics make sense. I think we've been brought up in a world and things are changing, but where the conditioning has been, don't cry, suck it up, push your emotions down. There's so much shame and judgment on emotions and or being overly emotional. And humans inherently have a fear of fear. And so when we don't know how to be with ourselves, we will push down and distract or numb out or whatever it is, which just keeps everything in the body. So we're walking around with it every day, carrying. It's insane how much everyone is walking around with daily, just carrying in the body. So yeah, it's a problem. Yeah, to answer that, yeah, it's a problem. And those stats don't surprise me.
Yeah. And so, what do you do specifically to help people with stress?
The biggest thing that I help people with initially in the work that we do together is mastering the skill of emotional release, the ability to be with yourself and to allow your emotions to move through your body and release. Emotions are energy in motion.
Yes.
If you think of a tennis ball that's you've pushed below the surface of the water, it
Mm-hmm.
has a natural buoyancy that if you move your hand, it's going to float to the top of the surface. It's going to flow down the stream. And so emotions are the same, but we get in the way. So I'm really teaching people how to, healthily feel their feelings and let their emotions release from the body, because the after effect is feeling calm. I do believe that our natural state is calm, still, peaceful, free, joyous. And so the more that you subtract the negative from the equation, you're just left with the positive. So that's the first focal point of the work that I do with people,
Mm-hmm.
is how to let go.
I love that so much. I had a teacher, a coach like you in my life. His
Yeah,
name's Josh Smith, and he helped my boys and I. We went weekly for 6 years to see him, and
cool.
I cried buckets and buckets and buckets, because for years I held it all in because I had a story that made me weak, and I also had an abusive situation where I couldn't, and it was the best thing. I remember at the end, I mean, I felt like I'd lost 200 pounds of pressure
Yeah,
and tension, and every week I would peel off another layer, and it's glorious. It's glorious to be free. So
totally.
thank you what you're doing, and I really liked what you said there at the beginning, is what you do together with your clients. I love that because it takes both of you, and
Mm.
willingness, right, and effort, and you can't just show up and do nothing. You have to actually do the work, and so that's amazing. So how do you help high achievers specifically?
Same thing, same answer, to be honest, is like, if they are in a position where they're burning themselves out, it's just because they're pushing those emotions down. One of the biggest contributors to burnout is the amount of energy and effort that it takes to keep our emotions at bay, to keep our fears at bay. And now, your high achievers typically have strong mental will and toughness and discipline, which
Yeah.
works for them in many ways, yet eventually becomes a detriment. Um, they have the ability to just push on over fear, but they're not actually being with it and allowing it to move through and release. And so that's the starting point. Whether it's someone who's too anxious to to drive their car, for example, or it's a CEO, high achieving business owner that's got themselves burnt out. The first thing that I am teaching people is the skill of emotional release. And I start with educating them on the fear of fear and changing the way that they relate to fear. Because if someone relates to fear in a very fearful way, they'll be closed off to it in the body and it can't move through. That's the hand on top of the tennis ball. However, with different perspectives and insights, and then of course practice and experience, if someone relates to fear in a calm and open way, then there's a space for that fear to be felt and for it to move on through the body and be let go of. And so, yeah, whether it's someone who's anxious to drive their car or it's a burnt out, high achieving CEO, that is the first point that I start with. I truly do think in terms of human development, it's where everyone should start is addressing the fear of fear. There's going to be fear and strong feelings and emotions in life for the rest of your life. If you're afraid of them, you're shooting yourself in the foot. But if you're just like, no, if you're not afraid because you're like, yeah, I'm willing to go there and I've got the insights and the tools to handle it, then that in and of itself brings a whole lot of calm and peace and presence to someone's life.
Absolutely. I have to give credit to Tony Robbins because he taught me how not to fear and how to dance with it. And I'm so grateful because it's not that it's never going away. It's going to be around. It's just take it with you. You're like, okay, I see you. I got you, but we're going anyways. you know? And it's training. It's creating that engine of pushing through, and the reward is so great on the other side.
Totally.
And then once you do that a few times, you can't not push through. And it doesn't take many times for you to get it. Like, oh my gosh, the reward is so big, right? Like it's so big. No way I'm going back to that other way. But unless someone shows the way, some people will live their whole life like that.
Yeah, it can be tough. I remember a client messaging me one time being like, what have you done to me? I'm noticing feelings come up to be felt and I'm excited to go into them. And I was like, which is just echoing what you've just said. I'm like, that's great, because this person had been like, I know the benefit, I know the payoff, I'm getting this out of the body, fantastic, I'm letting this go. So I agree. Once you're in it, I couldn't imagine a life of not doing personal growth. But and then once you're in it, you're like, it brings the rewards.
It's glorious. It's glorious.
Yes.
So do you have a life hack for us that you can share on emotional release? Like what's your go-to that you could share with us that we could try at home?
Yeah, for sure. So I've shared a bit so far about imagining that the emotion coming up in your body, if you think of the tennis ball, what's helpful is to understand that to surrender is to stop fighting. Mm-hmm. And what that presupposes, if someone's telling you you've got to surrender, then that presupposes that there's a fight taking place in the first place. So for people to understand that they are fighting against how they feel and that the fight is the issue and not how they feel is a game changer in and of itself. Because many people feel as if the feelings are the issue and attacking them. And a lot of people relate to their inner world in a bit of a victim mentality of these thoughts and emotions are getting me, and that's the issue. But energies we fight, we feed, and what we resist persists. So to understand that is powerful, and to identify in your body where you're fighting and then release is a super powerful hack. And something else that I want to add to that, which I really love, is the perspective that what's coming up is coming up to leave. Now, the thing is, fear and insecurity and doubt does not feel that way at all. It feels like it's coming up to happen, to manifest, to actualize, to ruin our day, to ruin our efforts, to get in the way of us living the life that we want. And so when that's how fear feels, when it comes up from the unconscious to the conscious, what do? We fight against it, but we only make things worse. And so there are billions of people right now fighting their emotions on the misunderstanding that what's coming up is coming up to happen. So there is such power, and I still use this insight and have for years. There is such power in understanding that what's coming up is coming up to leave. This is one of the insights I share that helps people to begin to change the way they relate to fear and emotional pain. Because if what's coming up is coming up to get me or coming up to happen, then I'm going to smother it. I'm going to close my body off. I'm going to fight it and try and push it back down. Yet if I practice that what's coming up is coming up to leave, I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to allow a space. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to even potentially feel a bit of excitement of like, oh, yes, it's coming up to leave. Great. And then fear and emotion has the space to move through and release. So that is life-changing.
Yes. Oh my God. This is the best. That is such a nugget. Everyone pay attention right now. What's coming up is coming up to leave. We make a story that it's going to come up and it's going to be terrible and it's going to last forever. Right?
Yeah.
Or for hours or for days or for weeks or whatever the story is. And I have a rule. I do a 90-second suffering. If I need to suffer, I give myself 90 seconds and I scream or I cry, and I don't even use all 90 seconds usually. I just had to get it out, and then I start laughing because like it left already. And I'm like, wow, that's done.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Okay, wow, that is so not a big deal anymore. So I love that. What's coming up is coming up to leave. I'm going to borrow that if that's okay with you.
Go for it. Spread the word.
I will. That's amazing. I love it. Very cool. So you mentioned just to notice and to allow the energy to come up, to stop fighting. And then is there anything else specifically that you're supposed to do? Find where it is in your body, you said?
Yeah, so you can, I think if you have an open body, that pretty much takes care of everything, but there's a bunch of resistances that get in the way as we go through. It's valuable also to understand that surrender and letting go is really about removing resistance. If we go back to the tennis ball and the hand on top of the tennis ball is the resistance. As soon as you remove the resistance, everything else is taken care of. But definitely identifying the fight. What I teach people is identify the fight. Feel where you're pushing up against how you're feeling. And then I get people to push a little harder and then back off a bit, then push a little harder and then back off a bit. The reason is that this gets them attuned to the felt sense of like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. Mm-hmm. And when they can feel the fight, that also gives a point of reference of what the opposite must be.
Yes. Contact.
So there's some space for them to then lean into the surrender side of things. So those insights with the willingness to face the fear and let it go and, practiced over time can have an experience like yourself where you're just like, look, sometimes it doesn't even take 90 seconds. There can be an experience of rapid surrender where you're just like, I don't need to know what this is. I don't even need to know why it's coming up. Yes. I can just be with it and it's gone because I've developed the skills and the trust that what's coming up is coming up to leave. And I do trust letting go. A lot of people in their body would not even be aware of this, but don't trust letting go. Don't really believe in letting go and are scared to let go. So that, again, that's another angle that I offer, which is like for people to name that, I don't trust letting go. And they're like, shit, I would have never even thought that was there for me. Or for them to name, I'm scared of letting go because holding on offers certainty. Letting go is leaning into uncertainty, which is scary. Yeah. So these are some of the resistances that we come across, and the naming of those helps face the fear of letting go. And then, like you said, there's this rapid surrender where there's times where I let go of something. I'm like, I don't know what it was, why it was coming up. I can't really remember what it was about anyways, but it's
Yeah.
gone now. and off I go.
My coach drilled that into me because so often I would be crying and I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying. My life is wonderful. He's like, stop asking why, just get it out. Just get it out.
Yes.
So now because this happened many times. It took me a while to let go and just let it come out. Honestly, I was stubborn. But oh my gosh, yeah, it makes a difference. When I was in Canada for a while, I had migraines basically for a year and a half straight, day and night, a migraine, one big migraine. It was terrible. I couldn't work. I was in bed, dark room. I was on all kinds of meds trying to knock it out. Finally, I went to a migraine clinic and the guy understood these things, and it was acupuncture. And 3 times a day for 3 days a week, I was there, and I was fighting. I was fighting my migraine, and he would say, "Let go," and I said, "Heck no! If I let go, it'll last. It'll stay all of my life, and I can't do that." And he goes, "It's not how it works, Amy." And I'm like, "There's no way I'm letting go and allowing and accepting this in my life." And then I learned, and then I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh, really letting go is the answer." My favorite book for that is I would love to know your favorite book is Michael Singer, The Untethered Soul, or The Surrender Experiment. They're beautiful books on how to, especially the Surrender Experiment, I think. What's your favorite book on this subject?
It's a book called Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by David R. Hawkins. Have you ever heard of Hawkins' Scale of Consciousness?
It's my favorite book, Andrew. Power versus Force?
Power versus Force, yeah.
Yes! Yes,
Yeah.
he's the best. I haven't read that book, though. Okay, I will.
Yeah, Letting Go. So Letting Go came after the Power versus Force trilogy. And as you know from reading Hawkins, he just has an ability to language human behavior and the reasons why we hold on, the reasons why we resist, the benefits that we get from holding on, the payoffs, the underlying fears of letting go, all this type of stuff. He's got such insight and such an ability to language it in a way that holds and carries so much truth. That Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender, I read it back in end of 2014, start of 2015. I was traveling Southeast Asia. I read it twice whilst I was traveling around. And when it, like that book, I used to call it my Bible because I'm like, it's given me so much. I bought it for so many people, friends and family and clients and stuff like that. So when it comes to letting go and getting that insight, off memory, I'm pretty sure it's where I've got the tennis ball analogy. It's from that book. So he speaks of the mechanism of surrender, the willingness to let go. So yeah, he definitely, if you love him and you like Power versus Force, then you'll love this book.
That book changed my life. I recommend that book to everybody, kind of like you with the other book. I've given it out. So good. Very cool. All right. So that you said step 1 was emotional release. And then what's the second thing, the next thing or something that you do to help people with stress and anxiety?
Well, once they've got emotional release down pat, that really does take a huge chunk of the whole stress and anxiety. There's a variety of different insights that I offer, and like a simple little hack is, Susan Jeffers has the famous book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, and in that she speaks that the big question with fear is, can I handle it? And so another little hack, I suppose, is the affirmation or the statement, I can handle it. But laying a foundation first so that actually has some power and importance. You can say to someone, oh, just tell yourself you can handle it, and away you go. But I think that really lacks, like, you got to give it some first. And what I mean is, so we are consciously and unconsciously asking this question, can I handle it? Can I handle it? And whether we're aware of it or not, we're answering it. And the way in which we answer that question will either create stress or create calm. And so there are many things in life that people are saying to themselves, I couldn't handle if that happened. I couldn't handle the feelings and the embarrassment or whatever it would be if that happened. And so in that moment, we're externalizing our power, we're giving it away, and we are making ourselves fearful of a potential event.
Yep.
So the thing is, when we say I can't handle it, it's not that we can't handle it, it's that we don't want to have to.
Yeah.
And we think by telling ourselves that we can't handle it enough is going to be our get out of the jail free card. But eventually life's going to be like, oh, all right, I'll get it for you. Don't worry about it. But that's never going to happen.
No, this is Earth School.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
And glorious, but yeah.
Yeah. So I believe that I can handle anything that happens in life. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Doesn't mean I want to have to handle it. Doesn't mean that there's going to be some things that don't absolutely suck. Yet I still choose to believe that I can handle it. It doesn't mean that I'm inviting them in either. Because I believe that what comes into our life is for the purpose of growth and evolution. Therefore, I simply do not believe that there be something that I couldn't handle. And a practice that you can do is explore, what am I telling myself I can't handle? Understand that it's not that I can't, it's this that I don't want to have to. And then go about telling yourself, I can handle it. I can handle it. If that happens, I don't want to have to, and it would suck, but I can handle it. That is the best way to embrace the uncertainty of the future is deepening into the certainty of yourself in the present moment now. And one of the best ways to do that is understanding the thinking behind I can handle it, which I've just offered, and then affirming it to yourself and being like, yeah, okay, I can handle it. I could handle it. I will handle it. And this helps massively with stress and burnout and anxiety.
And thankfully, in this moment, I don't have to. Right?
Yeah.
The present.
Right?
Yes. It's all conjured up in our minds. It's not even real.
Yes. Yeah.
So coming back to center. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now you have something for the audience. You have what is it that you have for the audience? A quiz or something?
Yes, there is a shadow archetype quiz that looks at. Yeah, so what it looks at is 4 different primary shadow archetypes that I've learned from a woman named Carolyn Mace, and spelt M-Y-S-S, but pronounced Mace. Okay. And what this looks into is her 4 primary shadow archetypes that are all that it's within everyone's consciousness and psyche. And the benefit of this is you can understand the archetype and you can get insight into yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your behaviors, your results, your lack of results. You can understand why something is not manifesting in your life because of the shadow frequency that you're holding in your body. So you can really use the archetypes as a map of consciousness to gain insight as to where you are and where you're stuck. And what I've got is a quiz, 7 questions that then gives you a full report on your current primary shadow archetype. So you all have all archetypes within you at each time. There's a shadow and there's a light, and you will revisit and go through each archetypes in different traits and characteristics in deeper ways, which results in you more deeply and deeply embodying the light archetypes, which results in a more prosperous, abundant life. Right. So in a couple of questions answered, you'll get a report, video and written, on what's the primary archetype for you now, because the primary archetype for you that's playing out most prominently could be different in 6 months' time.
Oh, cool. So can people go back and just redo the test?
You can go back and redo the test, yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing. This is a huge gift, because anytime you can become more aware of what's going on with yourself, then you have the option of changing it. right? When we're
Yes.
not aware, we're like a zombie, and I do my zombie look, right? We're a zombie and we're up against the fence and we don't know what's going on. But the second you turn the light on and you wake up and you look around and you see all the other zombies, but you're like, oh, I'm not that, and I'm gonna move and go the other way now. Hallelujah. Now
Yes.
you have a choice. Now you're in control of your life instead of the program being in control, which it is most of the time, unfortunately. As
Totally.
humans, it's the way it is. So it's waking up and changing that percentage of 95% zombie and 5% conscious
Yeah.
to turning those numbers around, right? And I can tell, Andrew, just from being with you now and researching you, he has a beautiful website. Here's his website, everyone. Go there. You can connect with Andrew if you want to get some coaching on stress and anxiety and high performance. Please do. He will help you. Amazing. So would you like to get into the archetypes at all? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, I can give a little insight into the archetypes.
Okay,
So
that'd be great.
you can look like an overview. There are also 4 steps of manifestation. The first step is to be clear on what you want, have a clarity of your desire. And what this is about is having, not just being clear, but being clean and clear. So a lot of times people want something because they don't want to feel how they're feeling now. And it's not like, I just want it because I want it. There can be like, oh, I want this job because I want it to give me a feeling of status and significance.
Right.
But because I don't want to feel invisible and insignificant, for example.
Right.
So at this level, the shadow archetype is known as the prostitute shadow. This is about our self-value. It's about our beliefs and our attitudes. It's about the tribal system. The prostitute shadow will very much externalize safety and security and acceptance and approval, and is, I don't know what I want, I don't know who I am, I don't know where I belong, I don't know what my purpose is, and can be self-value as well. I've journeyed with the prostitute shadow a lot, already in my business, already on path, already with a sense of direction. What I've got from it a lot is deepening into a felt sense of value within myself, which always results in some sales, in my prices going up, in me giving less. A prostitute shadow in business, in kind of like a service-based business, is very extra, adding more bonuses, cutting prices, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
The light archetype is the lover. So when you step into the lover embodies an energy that naturally draws recognition from others without trying. So that's a really powerful step. As you come into the second step, the first step is clarity of desire, which desires are different to goals. Goals have more specificity to them. That's the roadmap from A to B. Here you're looking at the child shadow, which is essentially waiting for someone's permission to follow its dreams. And you step into the sovereign archetype, which is, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, these are my goals, this is what I'm going after. It becomes its own source of permission moving forward.
Yeah.
The third step is, this is about action and resources. The shadow is the victim, which is in scarcity, lack, why me, nothing's working, where's my help? Everything's hard, doesn't go very far, doesn't go very fast. The light archetype is the warrior, which knows that it, and has absolute confidence in its ability to create what it wants, knows that reality is a reflection of the old self, and knows that resources and everything is connected to within self first and then shows up externally. And then the fourth step is collapsing the time of how long it takes for something to happen. So this is the shadow of the saboteur, which is like a weak masculine energy stuck up in its head, wants steps 1 through 10, doesn't follow the intuition. I don't see how this is going to work, etc., etc. And the light is the magician, which knows that what it wants to happen has already happened. Really,
that's why I was already getting excited, because I knew the light side of that. It's so fun.
Yeah, totally. It's trusting in the seemingly irresponsible, can't see how this is going to work out intuitive nudges. You might be in a program launch and your intuition says, take a couple of days off and go to the beach. And the saboteur would be like, I don't trust this. I don't see how it's going to work out. And the magician would be like, great, let's do it. So that's a quick little overview of the steps and the archetypes.
Amazing. So what you basically went up the chakras and you basically went up the frequency scale in those archetypes, no?
I've never looked at it through that lens, but yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting. Amazing. Wow. So cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, very cool
information. I've never heard that before. So I'm gonna
check out Carolyn Mace. She's got a bunch more. Or do the quiz. Check out Carolyn Mace, and you'll get a lot more insight into them.
All right, very cool. All right, well, thank you. Can you believe time's up already? It goes so fast. But if you want to connect with Andrew, here he is. Go to his website. It's beautiful. It's really well done, and he has lots to offer there. We're going to have you back on the end. I'm going to ask you a very important question, which is this: if you are on a mountaintop and you had just one thing to share with the world, and the world was paying attention. They were in their 5% and in their focus. They were awake and they were paying attention. What is it that you would share with them? I will ask you that when we come back. But right now it is time for our new segment, which is, wait for it. It's called the Weekly Triumph. The Weekly Triumph. So first of all, I have to say that we're saying goodbye to Mantra Magic for just a little while. I don't know how long. The reason is my amazing partner, Maria Ishtali, is moving from Cabo back to Guatemala, and she won't be here. She won't be here for us to do it. So I feel led to do a weekly challenge, which is called the Weekly Triumph, right? Yeah, that's what I said. Weekly Triumph. And every week, I'm going to introduce a new challenge for us to do together. It's easy. It's not hard. Doesn't require a lot of time, but it will change your life. And that's what this show is all about, is little life hacks, right? That will change your life. And this is one of them. So this week's challenge, ready? Drum roll. It is the gratitude challenge. No surprise there that that's the first challenge of the week, because gratitude is the rocket ship to joy. Seriously, it's the fastest way out of suffering, gratitude. And so what I want you to do is get a really nice book, get a journal. Mine's right here, right? Just get a journal of some sort. If it's nice if you like it, spend a little money and get something you like that you like to look at. And every day at some point in the day, and I would schedule it and put an alarm, because you're not going to change a new habit without those reminders. We're too busy. Remember, we're zombies half the time. So we gotta wake ourselves up, and alarms can do that. Make it a fun alarm with music you like, so you're not like cursing the alarm, right? Because it's gratitude challenge time. And write down a couple things that you are grateful for. Actually, I would say 3 things that you're grateful for. Something that you're grateful for in the past, something that you're grateful for in the present, and something you are already grateful for that you see happening in the future, and write it down. There's something very important about actually using a pen and paper and writing it down. So please don't just do this on your phone. Please, please, please don't. Get a book, write it down, and it goes into the subconscious. You're going to remember it more, and it's going to be ever constant. And remember, it's the rocket ship to joy. So when you're in gratitude, you can't be angry. You can't be sad. They don't exist in the same space. Now, we can be grateful and then in the next moment, not grateful and be angry again. But if we're in a space and in a space of gratitude, oof, yeah, it's peace and joy and all the goodies. So 3 things every day for the next week. And then next week, I'll announce a new fun challenge that we can do. And what I want to do is hear from you on Instagram or Facebook at Amy Joy Coaching. And I'll post a flyer there weekly challenge with the instructions, and you can interact. Love, love, love to hear from you. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to add more joy and more peace to your life, more freedom ultimately, because in all my years of working with people, it's what everyone wants. Freedom in all the different ways, right? So the weekly triumph, we're going to triumph and we're going to do it. So hopefully you're in. Who's in? You're in, right? You're going to do it. I hope so. So I'd love to hear from you, and watch the magic, because wait for it. There's going to be lots of magic in and around it. All right. Awesome. So that is the weekly triumph. And now we are going to do the meditation moment. All right. This is the part of the show where we take 5 minutes to become present. This is called the Serene Mind Practice. I learned it from my spiritual teachers. And when I say spiritual teachers, I am in no way talking about a religion. This is not about religion. This is about tapping into the fact that we are multidimensional beings. We are mental, we are physical, and we are spiritual. And the school is it's the World Center for Enlightenment. I've talked about it many times, and they have this, you can find it on YouTube, called the Serene Mind Practice. And it's just 5 minutes. So we're going to listen to some beautiful music from Gary Malkin. He's a multi-winner, Emmy winner. You can find his stuff on Gaia, Islands of Inner Peace. He's an amazing friend of mine and such a gifted musician, composer. So here we go. Grab the kids, grab the grandkids, grab everybody, have a seat. You don't have to know how to do this. I'm going to lead you. And first of all, just take a deep breath in. Ready? And exhale. Wipe off the day. Just wipe it off. And breathe. And now I want you just to observe your breathing. Observe the air entering and exiting. Just notice. And now I want you to observe, what are you feeling right now? Are you feeling crappy? Are you feeling happy? And however you're feeling, don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. Just notice. I'm angry, or I'm happy, or I'm grateful, or I'm sad. Make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. Now I want you to notice, what are you thinking? What are the thoughts? Like the river, coming and going. Are they more thoughts of the past, or are they thoughts of the present, or are they more thoughts of the future? Again, don't judge it. Don't make it right or wrong or good or bad. Just notice and breathe. Now I want you to visualize a candle flickering right in front of your eyes. Notice the reds, the oranges, the yellows, the whites, the golds. Slowly slide that candle right into the middle of your head. Just watch it flicker there. With your hands on your heart, I want you to think of one thing you're grateful for. And while you're in this expanded place, I'm going to send you a beautiful energetic activation. It's sent with so much love. All you have to do is set the intention to receive it. With a deep breath in and a smile. Come back to me, come back. Beautiful. And breathe. I'm going to bring Andrew back on with us. Hey, Andrew. How was that, my friend?
Lovely. Nice bit of background music too.
Right? So pretty. Could you hear it good? Was that good, the level of music?
Yep. I think it was good.
Okay, good. Ah, beautiful. Yeah, meditation's changed my life. And just taking 5 minutes like that, it changes your life. Just 5 minutes. Yeah. And you can do it throughout the day, and it creates awareness. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Right? Not judging it, and letting it go. And then it normally it will just dissipate, just like you said at the beginning. Just letting go lets it go.
Yeah.
Right? Amazing. So, my friend, if you were on a mountaintop and you had just one thing to share, and the world was watching and paying attention, what would you be talking about? And you do have a few minutes, so you can take your time with this if you want.
Okay, so the encouragement would be for everyone to do their inner work. I believe that all problems in the world on a collective level stem from everyone's pain, trauma, insecurity, and fear within themselves. So I think that the way that we make the world a better place is not by putting so much focus on the external issues, but instead putting the focus on, like, if everyone did their healing work, that is the number one thing that changes the world, hands down. Because all the problems in the world are a reflection of the lack of healing that we've done. So that would be my encouragement, that going within yourself, whether it's just for yourself and you've got no interest with the collective, hey, that's fine, that doesn't matter. Is everything that you want in your life is going to come from a result of your healing and of your doing your inner work. Like, that's the pathway, that's the answer. Yep. That would be my encouragement. And if you are someone who does want to help change the world, then awaken yourself first. Take action to change the world and do your awakening at the same time. But I would just encourage that as strongly as I could, that's the answer to you being happier. It's the answer to the world being better. It's the answer to resolving conflict. It's the answer to everything. How things are going to look, we don't know. Just as in someone's personal life, like, I don't know. There's plenty of things that come into my world that I haven't consciously intended to, but they've been upgrades that come as a result of me healing in other areas, for example.
Yep.
Where life's like, here, have this upgrade. It might be Like, for example, every time I've been in a car crash, I've upgraded to a better car. And I've been like, oh, life's giving me a nudge of like, here, man, have a better car. It comes in a different way,
Yeah.
but it's still, I still choose to view it as an upgrade and a nudge. So that would be my strong encouragement. Do your inner work, because it is the answer.
The answer. So you're saying, what I heard you say is your personal development is in direct proportion to how much joy and freedom you're going to experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I 100% agree. I would not love my life this much without all the work that I've done. I know the me before. It
Yes.
was a frustrated, stressed out, scared out of my mind. I was scared for years. Scared.
Yeah.
So scared. Now no. No.
Yeah.
It's this much in comparison, right? So
Totally.
wow. So some of the other nuggets he told us is if it's leaving, if it's coming up, it's leaving. If it's coming up, it's leaving. If it's coming up, it's leaving. The emotion was what we're talking about. I
Yes.
love that. Love that. If it's coming up, it's leaving. Amazing. Well, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
And thank you, everyone, for being here, for taking your very precious time and energy to be here with us. It's amazing. Remember that together we vibrate higher, and that, my friends, changes the world. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching Get Your Shit Together live with Amy Joy. If you'd like to follow us, you can on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Amy Joy Coaching. Appreciate so much your likes, comments, and shares. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out. We'll see you next time.